In the last video, I present Warmighty, my strategic turn-based combat game to the world. That, as you can see, is only formed by 200 people. I explain the mechanic, my vision, some inspiration and current limitations. From the few feedbacks I received, people seem to really like the core idea of the game, but one thing that some people comment on, which I agree with, is about the current landscape, which is pretty ugly right now. About that, I still don't know how to properly do a landscape, and I have decided how I want the final scene to look at, but I'm considering for the future about doing something similar to a Coliseum, like this one I'm showing. But for now, I will only try to improve the current scene a little bit to make the videos better to watch. So, the first thing I will do will be toy with some tools I barely know how to use. Make something better miraculously shows up. And this is the result I got, by changing the sky, players and camera positions, as well as using some trees and brush to add more details to the scene. It's still the same terrain, but with a little more detail because of the camera disc. I hope this can make it less worse than in a previous video. In my personal opinion, I think it improved a little bit because now the terrain has more details compared to the previous one. But tell me what you think in the comment, because my opinion is probably biased. After that, I stopped changing the landscape for some time to make another improvement on the gameplay. Right now, when you use a skill that lasts more than 1/3, the symbol will be shown on the left or right side based on who is the target. This is working fine, but to improve this, I implemented a function that if you click on a skill symbol, you now appear a dialogue for 4 seconds saying the skill name, its effect and duration. My intention with this is helping people understand the current buffs and debuffs, since I plan to have a lot of them in a game. Also help new players learn faster the skills effects as they play, and help with strategies by allowing players to see one round when effect will end. After that, I decided to make a more bold test by changing the landscape complete to see how it feels. First, I decided to do everything on my own and try to model a terrain completely from scratch. And this screenshot was my first try modeling a terrain, which was worse than the original landscape. So I understood I still have a long way to go before doing a proper terrain for the game on my own. Still not satisfied though, I went to a fast and most effective approach, that was open the Unity store website and search for a new terrain. Then I found this one right here. I downloaded and put in a game, just like the first one. And now the game has 2 completely different terrains, in part because I do plan to have different terrains for different game modes, and mainly because I could not decide which terrain I would choose as the better one for now. So please compare them and say of the 2 terrains, which one you think fits the game better for now. Before ending the video, I also add this surrender button right here for debugging purpose, but there's a slight possibility of this going into the final game as well. It will depend on if the matches become too long and boring, or if a player can guess the result of a match pretty early based on a class and other combinations, but I'm doing my best in the game tests to avoid and decrease these 2 possibilities and make the battles fast and unpredictable. Also, in the future, I really want them to have a nice look with effects as well.